All right, guys, we're with Dusty Alice.
What's up, guys?
From Striker Bows. Dusty's going to tell us about every bow they have in their lineup and then some new things for 2018.
Yeah, so we're going to go through the bows. I'm going to start on the right side. Basically, we've had these bows out for a while. They're called our Sport and Classic model. The Classic here is a 60-inch reflex deflex longbow. It's got a 16-inch riser height and then 60-inch overall length, like I said. So it gives you longer working limbs with a shorter riser height. In the Sport, same design. It's a forward handle, reflex deflex longbow, but it's at a 58-inch length. And the Classic has a Bacote through the riser and on the limb veneers, and then the Sport is a charcoal on the riser and also charcoal action wood on the limbs. And then from there we jump to our Sport TDR, which is our takedown recurve model. It's a 60-inch with the interchangeable limb system. You can actually change between longbow and recurve limbs. This one has a 60-inch recurves, but you can go with longbows. This one's in charcoal. We also have a Bacote version of that. And then we jump to our RK1s, which you guys, if you follow the Trad Geeks, they shoot some RK1s. This one here is a 60-inch with our dissolved camo dip on it. And this is actually an example of a custom one. This has the brown Cerakote on it, and then these are custom limbs with curly Etmo. And they've got, I think, wenge and maple on them. And the cool thing about our takedowns is they're all interchangeable, so you could take, these limbs, or 60-inch limbs, you could put them on an RK1 and make it a 62, which is really cool. And also the big thing in the RK1s is our side plate system, which I know me and Kevin talked a lot, you guys as well. You can add shims in there that basically bump it out, where it's an 1/8 inch past center right now. You can add different shims to put it at center or even before center, like you shoot the micro diameter shaft. Yeah. So pushing it out gets that area where you want it to be. And big thing about our bows too is our grip style. It's a lot smaller, sleeker style grip. We've got the same type of theme throughout. The RK1 being one of the smaller grips, but they're all kind of in the same family of bows. So they have a lot of different similarities. And this is an example of more of our, I guess, standard line you could call it. And then we have some examples here of all of our custom shop stuff. So the Fastback is our kind of our premier custom bow. It's got a bigger palm section and a little bit added overlay on the top of the backside here. That gives you a little bit more versatility in your grip style. And obviously with these you can do all kinds of custom options. Like this one's a two-tone Cerakote and black white ebony. This one, for example, is Macassar ebony and Bacote. So there's a lot of different options you can do with them. I know you guys have dabbled with on your RK1s doing different custom dips and stuff. Yeah. So those have different options. Our overall theme of our bows is smaller riser styles and lengths with longer working limbs. So it gives you a smoother draw. We do on our whist too, a little bit more narrow whist style. So that gives you a little bit quieter bow, a little more forgiving. So,
Now, with the RK1, I would assume it's good for the guys that are compound hunters looking to maybe get into traditional archery.
Yeah.
What all can you do with the RK1 that you can't do with like a custom?
Yeah, so the first thing being the grip. Obviously the grip's a torque-free style grip, so there's grooves on the front. And then also the rise is a little smaller, so you can full grip it. You can actually, put your fingers in the groove and hold it more like a compound style grip or torque-free style grip. It's got AMO mounts on it, so you can put any compound style grip on it. You can also, you could add a sight to it. Also, it's got a screw for any sort of elevated rest or plunger system, and then stabilizer mount. Any sort of stabilizer system you can do on bow fishing reel. So there's a lot of versatility with that. Trad guys can mess with it as far as shooting right at the shelf or adding an elevated rest. Compound guys can mess with different setups. It's got a lot of versatility in that end of it. I've had a lot of compound guys love to be able to transfer right to it, but trad guys too, they're pleasantly surprised when they get it in their hands and go, wow, this actually feels really good.
Like custom.
Yeah. So that's been a big selling point for that bow. Obviously the custom lengths help too.
Yeah.
It's kind of a good review of our lineup. Obviously we can do a lot of different custom lengths as well. Custom wise, we can go down to 56 on our custom wood stuff. On the RK1s, the lowest we can go is 58, but we can go up to 62 on those. So, there've been a lot of different options, and they're fun to mess with. That's for sure.
Thanks so much, man.
Dude, no problem.
Nice seeing
Enjoy
you.
the show. Thanks, guys.
All right, guys, we're here with Kyle Nall of New Breed Archery. Kyle designed the riser on the striker, so he's going to talk a little bit about that.
Yep, glad to have you guys. Great 2018 already, and glad to have you at ATA. So looking forward to seeing some cool videos from y'all, by the way. But to talk about the riser design, one of the things that was really important to me when Rick and I got together about the RK1, the one thing that as a compound shooter that had to happen is I had to have that compound grip. So it was very important in the whole process. When we started this, I started everything around what I call the New Breed grip. It's sort of our signature right now. But I wanted to be able to swap from my compound to my recurve pretty easy. I do a lot of hunts each year, either with my compound, obviously because of New Breed, but then also there's a couple of traditional hunts. And in fact, this year I was pretty proud I got a doe, so
nice.
Pretty
Congrats.
proud of that. Yep. And so I wanted to be able to swap back and forth. The one thing that I was having problems with when I'd swap back to my other traditional bows is the grip area. It seemed like every time I would grab that bow, I'd have to spend a couple of days getting used to it, or either when I went back to my compound, it didn't feel right. The nice thing about this is it's got the slim, no torque design grip that you would get with a compound. So it offers that traditional shooter something they've never been able to have before. So that's really exciting. Another cool thing that I wanted some adjustability. So the one cool thing about this riser is that you can do some shim kits. That sort of came from you guys talking to me a little bit. So we wanted some shim kits to be able to adjust for different arrows. I know you guys shoot a couple of different systems out there, and so we wanted you to be able to do that, but I wanted to have the standard arrow, or the guy that wanted the wood arrow, to be able to shoot as well. So that was one thing that had to go in the design, but it had to stay traditional. The one thing about the riser design was that we didn't want a lot of your metal risers that are out there are really long, 18-inch, 20-inch risers. They're more target setups than they are made for hunting. We wanted this thing to stay a true traditional riser, so we kept it down to 16 inches. So it's very lightweight, and it also had to have a shelf. We didn't want it to only have a rest, but you can take this off and put it a flipper style rest or anything you want on it. So the design was really based around our experiences in the woods and what we wanted in a bow. I wanted some modern features to be able to put sights or a stabilizer on, but I also wanted to be able to keep it traditional as well. So and then we also added the little gusset to take out some of the vibration that you would normally feel out of a traditional bow.
Yeah, it's really cool that you and Rick could come together and design this bow, kind of matching the compound and traditional community together. You have lots of awesome compounds, I'm sure. So if you guys are looking to switch or anything like that, check out New Breed's compounds as well, because that's a whole new ball game.
Well, we're going to come play with them someday, right?
Yeah, we will, for sure.
Thank y'all very much.
Thank you.
All right, appreciate you, man.